Greetings, everyone. It is Isaac Wells, the voice of Internet's Skeletor. You're watching Dragonfire Entertainment. And remember, listening to a podcast before bedtime is the adult version of story time. Until we meet again.
What's your poison? Let's drink it tonight. In the glow of the stars, everything feels right. Raise your glasses, let the good vibes pour. Together we'll sing, who could ask for more?
Hey everybody, Wildman Wess here, and this is What's Your Poison, where we review beers from wherever I can get my thirsty little fingers from. A couple months ago, the wife and kid and I went to Nebraska to see some family on a camping trip. On our way back, while we were getting some gas to head back home, I found some beers that are Nebraska-based. We have 4 beers here from 3 different breweries, and we're going to try them out and see what we think. You ready? Let's get started. Charging right out of the gate from Omaha, Nebraska's Infusion Brewing Company, we have the Pickle Slam Pickle Lager. This is 4.3% in ABV. It's self-explanatory. A lager brewed with pickles. Now, those of you that have been around for a while know that I enjoy me a good beer with pickles. Not always for everyone. However, if you're a big sour fan, pickle lagers definitely give you that sourness, that bite. It has more of that dill smell, not full on like opening a jar of pickles. It has more of that like dill seasoning that you have on like cream cheese or something like that. I know that's a different story. This is beer we're talking about. However, it's not overpowering when you smell it. So we're gonna have a taste. Oh yeah. Pickle galore. I love it. And it's light too. It's not too sour either. You do get that sourness of a pickle, but it's not going to wreck your palate. It actually is making my mouth water because it is smooth, it is clean, it is delicious. It's a 5 out of 5. Definitely a 5 out of 5. Not just because it's a pickle beer, because it's a good beer. And I'm just going to stick with that. And we're going to move on to our next beer of today. Next up from Bottle Rocket Brewing Company in Seward, Nebraska, we have Patriotic Peach. This is a 4.6% ABV American-style lager, and here's a little description. The Patriotic Peach is a new spin on the classic American light lager. Starting with a clean foundation of American 2-row malt and flaked corn, the addition of intense fresh peach flavor results in a light-bodied, crisp lager with a delightful peach taste. The limited amount of noble hops results in virtually no bitterness, making this a refreshingly easy drinking beer. Lots of promise. Lots of promise when they say no bitterness, because when I've had a lot of beer with peach in it, I don't really get a lot of bitterness. I get a lot of either very light, watered down, or overpowered. Not much bitterness, but that could be because of the noble hops. I'm not sure. But let's take a smell. Smells like a gummy peach right off the bat. Very, very sweet. So that's making me wonder, is this going to be an overpowered lager? Because usually when I've had beers with peach in it, it's usually a wheat beer. And this one, I don't know. We're going to have a sip. Not lying about no bitterness. Let me double check something on here because I'm starting to get a little bit leery. I'm wondering if the flaked corn is watering down or delaying the flavor profile of the peach. The 2-row malt, I'm getting a slight body on this, but not as much. This sounded really good on paper. However, this flavor profile comes more off as a wine cooler. Now, I know I worked for a wine company for a little bit, and I don't mind wine. However, if you're more of a beer drinker that enjoys that body of a beer with some fruit in there, I wouldn't recommend this. However, if you're more of a wine connoisseur that likes that wine cooler flavor and not the taste of regular beer, I would recommend this. When it comes to my grade, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say 3.5 out of 5. It's not a horrible beer, but it's not what I was expecting. And when I say not what I was expecting, I had some more high hopes for this one. But I digress. Let's move on to our next beer. Our next beer comes from Kinkaider Brewing Company out of Broken Bow, Nebraska. We have the Snozzberry Sour. You heard me right, folks. We are going into a world of pure imagination of Willy Wonka with this sour ale with snozzberries. I'm not exactly sure what a snozzberry really is. Does a snozzberry really taste like a snozzberry? Well, the fact of the matter is we have a beer that is allegedly brewed with snozzberries. We will finally figure out what it tastes like. I'm excited. And as I'm pouring this, I'm getting a nice, almost rose color to this. That head consistency, which I didn't bring up earlier in the other two beers, I didn't really see a whole lot. This is very frothy, and it dances rather nicely too. Slight haze, I would say about a 75% transparency. Let's have a smell, because I know it's a sour. Smelling a sourness. I smell almost like a cranberry and a blackberry. Quite a different, it feels like a mixed berry. Maybe that's what a snozzberry is. Let's have a sip and figure it out. Here's the part where Wildman Wess is starting to waffle because of our last beer. I know with Patriotic Peach I said something along the lines of a wine cooler. In this situation, yeah, has that wine cooler flavor profile, but it's also a sour. The other one was a lager. Lager should not taste like a wine cooler. Sours, they can have that exception. That's where I'm going to leave it at. But, flavor profile. I'm getting very much a cranberry for the flavor. That blackberry there, I want to say that the other part, it almost tastes like a strawberry. Slightly, because I'm getting an acidic flavor bite, and I'm also getting a slight sweetness. We're going to have another sip. I need to figure this out. It's been blowing my mind for years about this whole Snozzberry and Willy Wonka. Yeah, there's definitely a strawberry-esque flavor to this one, as well as cranberry and blackberry. This is not bad. I know my mouth is doing this right now because it is slightly sour. I could probably do 2 of these, mainly because the body is making my stomach go a little off-kilter. Flavor profile-wise, really, really good. Grade-wise, I'm going to say 4 out of 5 because it's still perplexing about the concept of snozzberry. Who ever heard of a snozzberry? What the hell is a snozzberry? Well, we've had a beer with snozzberry, and Willy Wonka did say it best. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, and Kinkaider Brewing Company is the brewers of Snozzberry sour beer. But wait, there's more. We have one more beer from Kinkaider, and we'll be right back. I'm going to finish this up. Our last beer today from Kinkaider Brewing Company is the Herd Law Honey Wheat Ale. This is 5% in ABV, and I'm going to double check. Is there a description on this one? Alright, it says, the Sandy Warfare grew in its hostilities as folks came for the promise of a better life. The free land came about. We're not going to talk about that type of stuff. That sounds very depressing. I want to talk about beer and something that makes me happy. So, what makes me happy? Beer. What makes me very happy? Honey wheat ales. And I have been very, very lucky to have been trying quite a few of them, even if the Leinenkugel Honey Weiss was always one of my go-tos. I need to get away from some of the ones that everybody knows. It's time to try one of these that not a lot of people know, especially in the country bumpkin Midwest. So, we're going to open this up. I am excited because honey wheats tend to have that biscuity, malty sweetness with a slight bitterness. And I am very excited because looking at this already, transparent as all get up. The head consistency, very frothy but light, very much like our last beer, which is nice. And oh, look at that, I love that dancing. There's a dancing fool. All right, let's take a smell. It smells like Honey Nut Cheerios, straight up. Oh, I'm smelling that maltiness. that honey, that sweetness. Let's just take a drink. Who are we kidding? Smells like Honey Nut Cheerios. Tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. This, my friends. Line and Kugel, you're knocked out of my number one spot when it comes to the honey wheats. This right here, my number one. 5 out of 5 pows. Oh my goodness. What I love about this is it didn't even have a description on there. It had a description about a historical event that I was just like, oh, this sounds depressing. I want to just try the beer. I want to know the good stuff about this beer. And it has a dryness, a nice maltiness, slight bitter, but that sweetness on the finish is just amazing. I love it. I know. I am blowing so much up Kinkaider right now, but the fact of the matter is, they made a great beer, and I'm sad that this is going to be gone, and I'm going to have to drive all the way out there to go get more, but it'll be worth the drive when it happens. We hope you enjoyed this lineup of some of the beers from Nebraska from my trip back at the end of summer. If you've had these beers before and you agree with me, leave a thumbs up. And if not, I totally get it. Put something in the comment description below if there's something that you didn't like about a beer that I liked, or that you liked that I didn't really care for. I like to learn more about what you, the audience, has to say about some of the things that we have a common ground on, especially good beer. Also, make sure you share on social media, but most importantly, push that subscribe button. We are so close to getting that 500 subscriber goal by the end of this year, and I really, really look forward to hope that it happens. Also, make sure you check out my boy Hefe at Beer You, Beer Me, as well as Beard Wizard Man for all their beer-related content. Until then, I'm Wild Man Wess, and we'll see you next time on What's Your Poison, or some of the other stuff that we have here on Dragonfire Entertainment. After all, December's just a few days of coming up. We got something planned. You already know. Cheers!
What's your poison? Let's drink it tonight. In the glow of the stars, everything feels right.